I was raised in a family where you were taught that your resilience means everything. How you respond to what happens to you means everything. And so when I started thinking about what was going on in the world, I realized, you know what, I am no longer going to be one of these people who just sit on the sideline and says, oh, well, you know, culture's not like it used to be. We got to fix things. You know, I decided I was going to get in the fight. And at 24 years old, I prayed about it. My congressman went to be the chief of staff in the White House, and so I had this incredible opportunity to run for Congress in my district. And I started looking at the age requirements, and I said, wow, well, I'll turn 25 right before the election, so that works out. And so I started thinking about it, and then I'll tell you, I prayed about it very quickly. I had to make the decision rather rapidly. And I knew that God was calling me to something. And I realized that we had an opportunity to take this country back. Because I'll tell you, the reason why so many people in my generation, I see some young people over here, the reason why so many people in our generation believe that they can't be a conservative or they need to be some form of a socialist or something, is because they've never seen conservatism presented to them by someone in their generation. Every single person they see in the news or anything that's in their generation is some kind of far-left socialist who believes in virtue signaling. But when I went through that car accident, when I was coming through it, I hearkened back to something we talk about all the time. And I was trying to make that decision to stay alive. I thought about what Mordecai said to Esther when she was to be married to King Xerxes. He said, perhaps you were born for such a time as this. And so when I look at it, everyone in here, I'm sure that all of us are saying that trite term, saying, oh, well, culture's not like what it used to be. And our country's not as great as it once was, as when the greatest generation was alive, when we defeated fascism, when we freed the slaves, when we cracked the codes, when we scaled the cliffs, when we defended freedom all over the world. Our country's not as great as it was then. But my friends, when we start thinking about that we have to go up against this coronavirus nonsense, when we have to go up against Antifa, Black Lives Matter riots, when we have to go against millions of dollars being spent against our very beliefs, when we have to go against all of this and you realize, man, why is the world so hard? Why is it so difficult? I think that we should all be honored that God trusts each and every single one of us enough to stand up and fight against this. Because my friends, what's coming after us, it was coming after our next generation. They are trying to destroy our country. And when we have so many people that want to just sit on the sidelines and say that we're not going to get involved, that we're not going to take the bull by the horns and take the fight to them, we are just capitulating. We are people who are wanting to sit down. When we have pastors in our churches and pulpits who are saying that they care more about tax-exempt status than they care about being a salt and light on this earth, I think we have a problem in the Christian church. And so when I see everybody in this room, when I see all of you here, I realize that you all believe what Mordecai said to his cousin Esther, that perhaps we were all born for such a time as this. That perhaps God put us on this earth to fight against socialism, to fight against the evils of this earth, to globalism, to fight for the next generation. And so I give you this charge. God has trusted you with this battle. All that we must do is go out and fight it. Because I believe He has given us more than we can handle on our own. But I believe, as every single story in the Bible represents, God is with us when we are on the front lines of battle. And my friends, the call of duty is coming now, and it's time for us to fight for our country. It's time for us to fight for the next generation. We were born for such a time as this, and I am honored to be among you. Thank you so much.